Good morning. I would like to start my morning out with you in a beautiful, simple yoga practice. So join me today on your mat, sitting up nice and tall. I'm sitting up on a block that helps my low back pull in and my heart lift. My throat goes back, so I'm kind of like leaning into this support behind me. Close your eyes, begin to turn inward this morning. Because when the mind quiets, insight develops. The quiet of the mind gains us access to the subconscious mind, where we start to pay attention to the breath, the body, and the mind will eventually quiet. So we take this opportunity to plug into and connect with our higher power. We connect to something bigger. We can reach beyond our limits and connect deeper within ourselves and each other. When we feel this connection deep within us, we start to extend that peace and compassion to other people. We truly don't know what is going on inside of other people, what they're going through at the moment. Just read a Facebook post from a dear friend's daughter, the year anniversary of her passing, and the daughter is just reflecting on the kindness that was extended to her in this past year of her grief, and how that compassion now extends to other people when she herself realizes you really truly don't know what is going on in the hearts and the minds of other people. So in the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. that we just celebrated yesterday, and hopefully the spirit of that we celebrate every day, having compassion for all those around us. Let us also remember each day all the gifts. The greatest of those is love. It's not enough to share that love with those we hold dear, but we open our hearts not just to those that are close to us, but to all of humanity. So extending that connection to those around us. Let us be slow to judge and quick to forgive. Show patience, empathy, and love. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart, and bowing the busy thinking mind to the quiet beauty of the heart. We begin our practice today. Go ahead and lift your head. Come to all fours as we start to explore here on our yoga mat with hands down under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We become connected by making this figure eight. I realize the black against the black doesn't really show up too well, does it? But maybe you can see, I'm just taking my shoulders and over my wrists and my hips back behind my knees and making this figure eight position. And extending yourself where you maybe feel a little bit of tightness. Feel free to pause there with the breath and then go the other way when you're ready. So taking this as your practice, so these are just some guidelines, but feel free to pause. The nice thing about the videos, you can always hit the pause button, right? Get yourself situated, and then come back. Good. Take the right hand up to the sky, and then swing it through to the left and come onto the right shoulder and the right side of the head. Continue to breathe here deeply, even though you're in this twisted position. Compressing the organs and then releasing, taking the left hand up to the sky, swinging it over to the right side, coming onto the left shoulder and the left side of the head. So toes are curled under. We start to awaken the tissues in the bottoms of the feet. That will actually help us as we move into our down dog and forward fold. We start to open up the tissues, all of the back of the body. Here we're twisting. And then come back to all fours. Walk your hands forward one hand's length. Can you see The difference here, I'm right below my shoulders and I walk forward, curling the toes under and then lift up to a down dog. But for right now, just keep your knees bent. I'll get back into the screen here. So pushing your hips back, extending the arms long, extending the spine long, and then begin to lift the hips. And let's do that a couple times with the breath. So inhale, bend and look forward, and exhale, lift. And do that again. Inhale, bend, and exhale, lift. And then bend one knee and then the other. So we start to open up here gently. We're not going to force anything. We're using that gentle work of the breath to help get into those tissues. Good, and then we start to lift maybe a little bit higher. Maybe we still keep the knees bent. Good, and walk your feet forward to your hands, coming into a forward fold. Now here we can bend one knee and then the other, moving the hips side to side. Getting comfortable here in this spot. Good, coming to center, bend the knees, bring the hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale, lift all the way up to standing. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Reaching over to the right. Oh, push the hips out to the left. Pushing evenly down through both feet, up to the sky and over to the other side. So we're opening up. Now we've twisted. We've gone side to side. And now let's do a standing cat-cow. Bring the hands to your upper thighs. Move your hips back. Pull the low back in. And then round. Drop the head like you're trying to look towards your belly. Scooping the tail under. Go back and forth here a couple times. Inhale. And exhale, round. Good. Inhale all the way up to the sky. Bring the hands to the heart. So we take a moment, even in the midst of our practice, to come back to that kind of that starting place with the hands in the present moment posture. Feet are pushing down evenly. You can roll in onto the inner edges of your feet and the outer edges, and then kind of come to that place of the middle. So you feel all four corners of your feet pressing down. The ball of the big toe, the inner heel, the ball of the little toe, and the outer heel. Bend your knees, move your hips back, scoop the tailbone down, rise up and rotate the shoulders back, palms face forward, and take your throat back. Good. Drawing the shoulder blades together, not squeezing, just drawing them back. Inhale up to the sky, and exhale, forward fold. Using your block on the highest setting if you like to start. Inhale halfway up, and exhale, release down. Inhale halfway up, and maybe you start to see, oh, okay, I can actually lower the block. We want to be lifting up through the back, up through the sitting bones, freeing up the low back. Good, one more, releasing down. And then step the right leg back to deep lunge, bowing the head, really trying to look back through the legs. Inhale, lift the head and heart forward. And exhale, release again. And this time, look forward, and as we come back, we straighten the front legs. We're pushing the hips back and bowing. Inhale forward and exhale. So if you need to keep a slight bend in that knee, well, we all should have a slight bend, but if you need to go even deeper into the bend, that's fine, or try to push your hips back to create that length in the front leg. Push down through the ball of the big toe on the left foot. And one more time, lift forward. Good, and back. Now step back again to that downward facing dog. Make sure I'm actually in the camera. Downward facing dog. And then you can drop the knees down or just step the right foot forward. So now the knee is right over the ankle, reaching the crown of the head forward, the heart forward, and then exhale, bowing, trying to look through your legs. And again, inhale forward, and exhale back. This time forward, but then as we come back, we start to straighten the front leg and push the hips back. the washing machine is going. I don't know if you can hear that. Hopefully not. Hopefully the sounds around, all you can hear is my voice. And for sure you can put on your own music, right? I can't do that because of copyright, but you can put on your own music here. Inhale, lift halfway up. Oops, I'm off the screen again. Okay, and down, forward fold. Inhale, lift all the way up to standing. Bring the hands to the heart. All right, let's go around again. Inhale, lift halfway up. I lift all the way up, and exhale, come down. Inhale, halfway up, and exhale down. This time, we're gonna take the left leg back, right foot forward into this deep lunge, and then squeeze the legs together so you rise and bring the arms up. So bending into the front leg, the back leg is nice and straight, hugging the arms like you're hugging into a block up at the top. All right, now here's the trick. I'm gonna try to have to back up so I can stay in the screen here. All right, I'm gonna back this first foot, the foot up, but I'm gonna push my weight onto the front foot and come forward to warrior three. Come back down, make your feet perpendicular, bending into the front leg, forearm onto the thigh, reaching up and over. Bring your hands down, step back to top of a push-up position, elbows hug in, slowly, slowly, slowly come down onto the belly, driving the hands back, press the tops of the feet down, keeping the elbows bent and tucked in by your side. Inhale again, driving the hands back. Exhale, release down. Let's push back to a child's pose. Hips to the heels. Knees can be wide apart, or if you like a little more compression on the belly, you can bring your knees together. Reaching the arms forward, curl the toes under, lift back up to down dog. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. So bring the left foot forward, hug the legs together, reach the arms up. So it's a high lunge here, back leg is straight, front knee is bent, reaching the arms. And then we're gonna come forward to the warrior three. So pushing the weight forward onto the front foot. I'm gonna back up. This is kind of a new camera angle for me, and I see I need to back it up, but we're all right here. All right, and then dropping the back leg down. All right, come into that perpendicular. This is not perfection, right? We're playing around here on our mat. So bending into the front leg, forearm onto the thigh, right arm up and over, side angle pose. Staying here with the breath. Noticing how the mind has softened since we've started our practice. We kind of drop down into the body. We connect in with the breath. And the mind kind of doesn't have a choice but to follow suit. If we let it, right? Good. Release now and come forward to forward fold. Hands to the hips, elbows to the sky. Lift halfway up here and pause, and then push down, rise up. Okay, so here's a little challenge, a little balance challenge for us. I always think this is a nice opportunity to pause with our sun salutations, and let's cross the right ankle over the left knee, open the knee out to the side. I like to press my hands into the middle. That reminds me I'm hugging in from the periphery all the way to the core, and that's gonna keep me more balanced and upright. Then I can start to bend the standing leg. Now you've got some options here. You can stay squeezing into the middle with your hands, if that's a good reminder for you. You can reach your arms out. You can actually rest them onto your top ankle and knee. Still kind of push your butt back. If you need to, you can touch down. You could even use a block here to touch down. You can also use a wall behind you, right? You can be pressing your hips into the wall, your hands can be into the wall. So really make this your practice. But think about these toes being lifted and separated and pulling the toes back. So we don't want to get into this action. Can you see that with my foot? Again, my foot matches the carpet. What the heck? My shirt matches my mat. Yeah, so pulling the toes back. Good. Now, if you can, come up, stay up on one leg and grab the ankle. Draw the knees together, reach the opposite arm up to the sky or out in front, or you can grab a chair. Again, grab the wall, whatever you've got. Heel toward the bum, knee toward the earth. The heart is lifted and expanded. And then see if you can take your gaze up a little bit farther, and that will that'll help you stay upright. Oops, I'm kind of tipping. There we go. Hug the legs together, hug the hip, it's called a heel, into the bum. Good. And then the challenge, can you stay on one foot and come into tree pose? So here I've just placed the foot onto the upper thigh. You can also put it on your shin, or you can have the toes on the floor. So same thing, your arms can be extended, they can be at the heart. To remember now, my leg and my foot are pressing together, my hands are pressing together. That's gonna keep me hugged in and elongated, right? Or you can reach your arms up. Staying here as long as you like, or when you're ready, go ahead and come out of the posture. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So if you had to touch down in the middle there, if you needed some extra support, that's just listening to your body, right? That's just doing what your body is asking you to do. So we just are playing around here, challenging ourselves. So standing on your right foot, cross the left ankle over, open the left knee out to the side. We start to hug in. Remember, we're gonna squeeze in, dropping the hips back. Offering that self-compassion, even when we're bobbling on our yoga mat, helps create the neuroplasticity in the mind, right? That when we play around on our mat, we can play around in life. We offer compassion to ourselves and others. So, right, we always have that ability. We have neuroplasticity. We always have that ability to rewire the brain and to learn new things and to change. You know, if we used to think we are too rigid or too strict or we can always change that, right? It just starts with a thought. Good, go ahead and come up, grab the ankle, hug the legs in, opposite arm up. So remember, the action is heel toward the bottom and heart lifted. And check the gaze, see if you can, I've got a little hole on the wall I can see over there, and I'm trying to challenge myself to look at something very specific that may be a little bit higher than eye level. So kind of keep things lifted. Good. And then lastly, bringing the foot into the thigh. Again, hands squeezing together. Help us remember we're hugging from the periphery to the core. That's going to give us the stability and the hugging in on the inhale. And then we can extend out. Even if we stay just like this, we can still extend the energy out the leg, up through the top of our head, down the standing leg. But maybe we want to extend the arms as that action of I'm extending out. Even though I'm hugging in on the inhale, very slight isometric movement, and I'm extending out on the exhale. Beautiful job. Release that. Go ahead and come down onto your mat. And if you have a block handy, go ahead and grab it, place it between your knees, and lay onto your back. Squeezing in again, like we've talked about, hugging in. And then you can extend the legs up or keep them bent if your hamstrings are tight and it feels better to keep your legs bent. Otherwise, feet up toward the sky. Hugging in and extending shoulders and head up off the floor and down. Inhale up, kind of inhale on the exertion. In this case, inhale up, exhale down. Going at your own pace here. We'll do about 10 of these. Drawing the belly button back and hugging into the block. Good, and release. Release the block. This time we're going to place it underneath the sacrum. Good, and staying here, walking the shoulders underneath you, or again, you can bring the legs up. So this is a great form of a lymphatic drainage. You know, your lymph system doesn't have its own pumps. So here, if we go, you know, let gravity kind of move that up and out of the system to let our body take care of the trash. Also, just physically moving your musculoskeletal system, that's another way that we kind of squeeze that lymphatic, the lymph out of the body. But especially now with all this stuff going around, cold and flu season, this is a great way, if you're not feeling good, if you got digestion stuff or a headache, this pose is very helpful. I'm recovering, and this is probably a good way to help get some of the garbage out. Cleaning up the battlefield, as we say, let all that come up and out of the system. Good, bend the knees, bring the feet down to the floor, and then remove the block. Let's bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees out to the side. Press the elbows down, walk the shoulders underneath you, and rest the palms facing up. Close your eyes here. If you've got something like this eye bag, let me know. I can help with supplies if you need a block or a yoga blanket or a strap. I mean, any of those things, I can help you figure out where to get those. I can help you. But you can rest this eye bag right over your eyes. And that helps not only block out the light, but it helps with the grounding through the eyes, moving back into the eye sockets. And it keeps the eyelids from fluttering. It just kind of gives your eyelids direction that we're just going to be closed for right now. Very calming to the central nervous system. I love to sleep with an eye bag at night, and something like this, you know, if you roll over and you end up laying on it, it's no big deal because it's really soft. So that's been really a nice thing for me to improve the rhythm of my sleep. Paying attention to the breath, letting the breath come down into the belly. Check in with the softness of the mind. And if those thoughts tend to be thoughts that are self-abusive almost, check in with the thoughts and just say, you know what, it's just a thought, but that thought does provoke the emotion and the action and the result, which my friend Jessica Smaro has helped me understand my thoughts a little better, and I do have the power to change my thought. So if you don't like the result, just back up to the action, to the emotion, and you realize, okay, it all starts with a thought from whatever situation. So check out Jessica Smaro's Unblocked podcast if you want to be digging into those thoughts. She's amazing. Slowly close the knees together like you're closing the pages of a book, and hug the knees into the chest. Rock yourself side to side here. And then push the knees away and circle the knees around and feel what's going on the low back here. And then go the opposite way. Good, and then push the knees away, feel the low back rise, and then hug the knees in, feel the low back come down to the earth. And then this time, let's match the breath. So inhale as you push out, and exhale like your knees are actually expelling the air. Breathe out. Do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. Roll over onto the right side. pause here. You can even use your right arm as a pillow. And then pushing yourself up to a seated position. We end as we began. And again, I'm going to grab a block to sit my hips on. You can do the same. A little blanket does the same. Or you can even be in a chair. So keep your eyes closed. I want to read to you, life is a gift. Today, before you say an unkind word, think of someone who can't speak. Before you complain about the taste of your food, think of someone who has nothing to eat. Before you complain about your husband or wife, think of someone who is crying out to God for a companion. Today, before you complain about life, think of someone who went too early to heaven. Before whining about the distance you drive, think of someone who walks the same distance with their feet. And when you are tired and complain about your job, think of the unemployed, the disabled, and those who wish they had your job. And when depressing thoughts seem to get you down, put a smile on your face and think you're alive and still around. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this practice was helpful to you to help reshape your thoughts and remodel your body, soften your mind, and expand your breath and your horizons. Thank you for being here. Have an awesome day.